You can call me GingerWolf. I cannot tell you my real name. I can't even tell you what city I live in. It's not that I'm being secretive. Actually, that's a lie. I am. No, I have enemies. In fact, we all do. The worst part about it is that they could be anyone and anywhere. Who are these enemies? We call them greedy producers. These bastards find a popular property, buy the rights to it, then crap out something with said property's name on it to trick the fans into spending their hard-earned cash for a lackluster product. I'm here to tell you of my encounter with one of these cash-ins. But before I go any further, does anyone here remember Animorphs? It began as a series of young adult books published from 1996 to 2001. It's about a group of teenagers and their alien buddy who fight a secret invasion on Earth, using that alien's ability to morph into animals that they touch. The group consists of Jake, the leader, Marco, the jokester, Cassie, the most empathetic of the group, Rachel, the pretty girl warrior, Tobias, who's trapped in a morph as a red-tailed hawk. He's the most open to the group when it comes to the alien encounters, and Axe, the surviving Andalite and brother of the alien that brought the kids into the war. There is certainly a lot to unpack about the series that I don't think I could really condense in this brief synopsis. If you'd like to know more, I'd recommend just finding the books and reading them. There's audiobooks, you can find them digitally, and there's recently a graphic novel adaptation. Or, if you're lazy, you can check out Lord Ravencraft's excellent breakdown of the series, all 3 of his videos. Long story short, it definitely caught the attention of kids all around the US. You would almost always see these books at school book fairs with their distinctive covers that always featured one of the kids morphing into a featured animal from the books. The series became a fan favorite, and the suits noticed. There was a TV show that starred Iceman from the earlier X-Men movies as Jake, and had that one dude from Road Trip as Axe in Human Morph. Spin-off books filled in the gaps in the mainline stories, and it's even coming back into the spotlight with a movie adaptation, kind of. Today, I'm doing a requested review from Dan Mueller. Oh, that's not your real name, dude. They could be watching this. I'm looking at the Game Boy Color adaptation of Animorphs. This game was released on November 7th in the year 2000 and developed by Runny Fun. Now I know what you're thinking. Who the hell are Runny Fun? What? Don't look at me. I don't know who they are. Apparently neither does Google. As far as I know, this is the only game they made. This already seems promising. Ah, yes. An excellent piece of music to start an alien fighting adventure to. I may not be really familiar with the show, but I know about the theme song. Okay, enough messing around. Let's start this thing. The Earth is under attack. An alien race called the Yeerks have landed. They are hideous creatures. They control the minds of people and other aliens. We must fight them. We have the power to morph into animals. Are you ready to become an Animorph? Nope! I get that the game wants to get players a basic understanding before they play, but come on, my synopsis was better than that. Okay, there are 6 Animorphs, so I think I'll pick... Cassie. Oh, so it's one of those games. Each mission picks an Animorph for that chapter, but as I'll show you, it really doesn't make that much of a difference. Fans of the book may be glad that this mission seems right up her alley. Cassie is the animal expert of the group, and the best morpher, so maybe it's not a bad thing that she handles the first level after all. Alright, here we are. First screen of the game, and it looks like crap. I think this is supposed to be Cassie's parents' barn, but I'm not seeing any hay, cages, or animals. No, the deformed turkey that's supposed to be Tobias doesn't count, nor does the blue mangled horse that's supposed to be Axe. There's an uncaged mouse in the corner here, though. As soon as you begin, Tobias gives you some pretty obvious advice for this kind of game. Talking to the group reveals that something odd is going on at the pet shop. Tobias instructs you to talk to the owner and get some good morphs on the way. It's a little odd that he's given the mission, because normally that's Jake's role. Speaking with him reveals a bigger picture, though. Apparently there are 4 Andalite processors that may be powerful, and we need to get them before the Yeerks do. Screw the pet shop, let's do that. But no, you don't get to make that choice. If you talk to this large dollar bill on the fridge, you'll find a note from Cassie's dad, who's a veterinarian. He confirms that the pet shop owner called him about the weird behavior of the animals there. You then get a password that if you press select, you get to see a jumble of letters. Older gamers will recognize this technique that was used by older games before they could save progress, like Metroid or Mega Man on the old NES. But this is the Game Boy Color, and this game was released at the end of the year 2000. If you were playing this back then, you'd have to have a piece of paper and a pencil, which begs the question, who would be carrying those around if you were playing a portable gaming console? Surely the developers wouldn't put such a stupid way of saving on a late release Game Boy Color game. Would they? Talking with the other two gives us some useful info. Marco tells you that you can't speak to people while morphed. In the books, the group can communicate while morphed through sort of a telepathic ability that comes with the morphing. It's how Axe and Tobias talk with the group. They could thought speak to regular people, but it's only under dire circumstances, because they don't know who's a Yeerk-controlled person or not. So what advice does Rachel give us? This morphing power is totally cool. This is nothing like the book character. Rachel likes a good fight, but none of the characters particularly enjoy the morphing. Heading out of the barn, you come across a goat, and it attacks! Okay, first battle. Apparently no one can fight outside of a morph, so you pick the only one you have. A dog. I wonder how the game will show the morphing scene. Okay, so they decide to give the player a seizure. Lovely. Luckily, these sequences are skippable. I don't know about anyone else, but does this battle screen look familiar? The goat gets a free chance to hit because apparently morphing costs a turn. My turn, and unlike what this game is trying to rip off, you only get two options. Fight and run. Choosing fight gives us 4 options of attack. Do dogs scream? Look, I'm going to save you some time here. There are no types, no animations, and no spectacle. You find the best attack by trying each one. Then, if you don't want to read all the exciting text, you just mash A until you win or lose. Winning against the goat, the game tells me that I tamed it, and that I automatically demorph and acquire the goat in my Anim Manager. Once again, I'm going to refer to the source material. The Animorphs acquire new morphs by simply touching the animal they want to turn into, which puts the animal into a peaceful trance. I guess the makers of this game decided that was too boring, and instead decided that beating the shit out of the animals first was the best way to go about it. I head out of the gate and immediately run into a Hork-Bajir, so I morph and kick its ass. You'd think being jumped by one of the Yeerk's enforcers at Cassie's barn would be a reason for concern, but if you are, you're putting way more thought in this game than the developers did. Just turn it on and tune out. If you remembered, our mission is to get to the pet store. Great. If I could find it first. Look at this map. The walkways don't line up with doors, animals are out and about, and looky here. The city seems to be surrounded by a black void. Sure, whatever. Anyway, after wandering around for too long, I make my way to a weird structure with doors and stairs. Anybody want to guess what this place is? I'll give you a moment. Well, if you decide to check out this blue question mark sign, it tells you that this is apparently the mall. It must be a strip mall by the look of it. Now, you come across the dilemma of how to enter it. Do you think any of these doors would work? Nope. Only the door with the stairs behind it does. Duh, right? The inside of the mall looks as lazy as the overworld does. There are no stores, no food courts, and no kiosks. Just the pet store in the far top left corner. When you enter, the store owner tells the preteen girl that his snake has escaped and that she must catch it. What the actual fuck? So you find it and beat the shit out of it. Mission accomplished. But no, how naive. That's only part 1 of the first mission. After your adventure in the mall, the others meet you outside and tell you that apparently something in the zoo, or the gardens for all you fans of the book, agitated the snake, and that you need to use the proper morph to go through a crack in the wall around the zoo because it's closed and guarded. Okay, credit given where credit is due. This is an accurate way that morphs are used in the series. Well, besides the fighting. Using the snake morph that we acquired, we can head in. But I hope you don't go too fast because there's a Hork-Bajir just ready to fight, and fighting as the snake sucks. I know what you're thinking. Why don't you just switch morphs? Alright, look at the battle menu here. Do you see any option for switching? In the books, the kids can't go from one morph directly into another. They have to demorph first. Sure, developers, just pick and choose what parts you stay true to. If you fight as a snake, you're gonna lose. If a morph's health drops to 0, you lose that morph, and you have to pick another one. There's no healing here either, so good luck. I'll cover this a bit later. So what happens if you run out of morphs? Game over, you lose. I hope you had your last password written down, because if you want to continue, the game doesn't even let you pick up where you left off. You need to type in the damn password, or start all over again from the beginning. When you finally get into the zoo, you'll find that all the cages are wide open, and you can just waltz right into any of them. On the bright side, it's a great way to get some stronger morphs, which the game wants you to do. If the animals don't kill you first. Oh, and this place is a boring maze as well. In some of the cages, you find something that looks like a flattened beaker. Apparently these are the transponder boxes. You just walk up to them and bam, disconnected. After the 4th box is disconnected, Tobias tells you that he heard help calls rather than calls for help. Someone is in danger and you have to save them. Hey Tobias, you have hawk eyes. Want to point me in the right direction? No? Cool. Thanks. I'll just wander around and try to find him. It turns out the guy who is in trouble is just hanging out in the lion's cage. And apparently he's more concerned about a secret lab in the zoo rather than being mauled by the lions. Tobias tells you that you'll need a bat morph because there's a dark tunnel that leads you to the lab. But bats don't... whatever. Conveniently, in this lion's cage, there is a bat nearby, so you can get the morph. So, on to find the secret lab. In the back corner of the zoo, you find a large green arrow that points you to the secret lab. Once there, you find out that the Yeerks have captured animals. Why? None of the Yeerks except their leader, Visser 3, can morph. Maybe they want him for him, but a skunk? Chimpanzee? Monkey? Dog? Without any clue in game as of right now, it's anyone's guess as to why. You fight 4 Hork-Bajirs and find a door with an arrow over it. This is where the bat morph is used. And now we get a different style of gameplay. As a bat, you automatically fly to the right. You're supposed to dodge wires and robots. Let me tell you something I didn't know when I tried this the first time. The wires on the top of the screen are intangible, and they're in the background. I didn't know this when I had tried it out, and it made it a lot more challenging than it needed to be. You get 3 tries to make it. If you fail, game over. Once you make it through, you're confronted by an evil scientist controller who reveals that they've been training animals to revolt against humans. Really? I bet the fans are seething how stupid this plan is. He sends a Taxon, which is basically a giant alien centipede that the Yeerks also control. So, pick a strong morph, tap A, chapter finally over. There are 3 more chapters where you play as Jake, Marco, and Rachel respectively. I'd tell you more about them, but this section is long enough, and each one plays about the same. You play as a predetermined Animorph, talk to the others, get a vague mission briefing, get morphs, wander around until you find where you're supposed to be, fight, do something else, play a morph side-scrolling section, fight, and a chapter. To save you even more time, I'm just going to tell you the ending. Let's be serious, you are not going to play this game. The final mission has you playing as Rachel, fighting on a Yeerk spaceship to use it as a beacon for the Andalites to come to Earth. You fight a Hork-Bajir as the final boss, and Axe sends you home. Apparently this is enough to disrupt the invasion. The Andalites contact the Animorphs, tell them to keep fighting until they arrive, and tease a future sequel where Visser 1 would be fought. As of the recording of this video, I'm at book 20 or so, but I seriously doubt a book series with about 54 issues would end so anticlimactically. Please do not spoil it in the comments. If you couldn't tell by the breakdown of this plot, I did not have a good time with this game. Or any aspect of it, really. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, guys. This is an ugly game to look at, even by Game Boy Color standards. Cutscenes are slapped together using just picture movement. Look, I can do that too! When the images go for a more realistic style, like on the book covers, it's just a mess of pixels. I know the screen is blown up for your screen, but rest assured, it doesn't look much better on its home console either. For the mission start screens, the characters are drawn in a more animated style. This looks fine! Why couldn't they chosen one style for the game and stuck with it? The overworld sprites are a mess. I don't know whose bright idea it was to give them all mouths, but everyone looks like they have a handlebar mustache. Even the girls. From the side, they all look like robots. I've already stated how bad Axe and Tobias look. The use of color in the outside areas is alright for the most part though. Grass is green, streets are gray, water is blue, but half of the buildings do not resemble what they're supposed to be. Let's play a game. I'll show you a building, and you guess what it is. Okay, first one. What is this? It's the mall. I showed you this one earlier. Come on, try to keep up. Okay, how about this? No, it's not two houses. It's the school. Yes, both buildings represent the entire school, but only one door lets you in. One more. What is this? Alright, obviously it's a house, but it's the Vice Principal Chapman's house. Since he's a controller, in one mission you actually have to break into his house by morphing as his cat. They knew these looked awful. That's probably why they put these little signs near each building so you could tell what they were. Character sprites have some funky coloring going on. Rachel is all yellow, Jake is all orange. All animals are either yellow, blue, or orange as well. Has anyone ever seen a blue mouse? How about a yellow elephant? The worst of it shows up when you end up in enemy territory. The developers were definitely sleeping on this one. Look at this. One part of Rachel's mission has her aboard a Yerk ship, as mentioned earlier. Look at the ground. It's blue. Guess what color the Hork-Bajir are? That's right, the same damn color. If you're trying to avoid fights in these areas, you're screwed. Remember, this game came out in the tail end of the year 2000. It wasn't like nothing like this game came out earlier. I'm just going to leave you with some examples so you can be the judge. As I've already stated, this game takes its gameplay cues from Pokemon. It just takes everything that was fun and enjoyable out of it. Instead of a team of 6, you have 6 available slots for a morph. Battles aren't exactly random, since animals can be encountered by running into their sprites on the overworld screens. Aliens also are ran into, but it's more like they're invisible and they're kind of set where they are, except for when they're not. I've already given you an idea of how the battles work as well. Just fight or run. Like I said, no animations, no type, etc, etc. The real problem comes with the total lack of strategy here. You get 4 attacks. Some do damage, some may increase invasion, others do jack shit. The best strategy is literally picking your best attack and hoping each one will hit. And if you lose that morph, pick another and repeat that until you lose or win. It's not like you can get better either, there's no experience here. So basically, you're either fighting to clear the screen or get morphs. That's it. Another issue with the battles is that the game can kind of pick if you win or lose. Alright, not really, but it's a total flip of the coin if you win or not. I mean, well, it does help to have more powerful morphs on your side, but don't let me get off track here. There are a few times where I was prepared. I had my best morphs, chose my best attacks, but I lost anyway because I kept missing. This wouldn't have been so bad if I could have healed, but like I said earlier, you don't get that option since there's no inventory system in this game. The only ways you can heal are by picking up an apple on the overworld, or winning against an alien that's carrying food or what the game says, superfood. Even then, it only heals the specific morph that gets it. For example, if you have an elephant morph that needs some health, but you beat the alien as a dog, the dog gets healed. As for moving around the overworld, when you're a human, you walk slower than molasses. Well, on this screen, you can morph, but if you're in front of any NPCs, including aliens, and morph, game over. Sometimes this makes no sense. If I'm on the alien ship fighting the aliens anyway, who cares if they see me morph? It's not like I'm knocking any of them out for them to go report it later. As an animal though, you move quick. I usually stayed in morph to be done with the game as quick as possible, only being a human when the game needed me to be. One of the defining features of the books was when the kids would use morphing to their advantage. I'll give the game credit in that it does have moments where you do this. For example, one mission requires travel by sea, so you need a dolphin morph to swim. Another mission needs you to fly between mountains that are across the river, so you get a seagull morph to do so. This is just not a fun game to play. With its dodgy AI, lack of strategy or animations, I can give this game the honor of being the only one to bore and frustrate me at the same time. There's no better way I can put this. The music is so bad in this game, I'm sure it can be considered a cruel and unusual way to torture somebody. There's a reason I'm not using the soundtrack as background music in this video. Headphone users, you may want to turn this down for a little bit, and I apologize in advance to all my viewers for these samples. If the Game Boy Color sound chip could vomit, I'm sure that's the noise it would make. As for sound, there's literally nothing to say. The game has absolutely no sound effects. Whether you battle, run into something in the side-scrolling section, or lose a morph, there is no sound to indicate any of it. However, hearing how bad the music was butchered, maybe it's for the best there are any sounds. If it's not perfectly clear, I hate this game. It was a test in perseverance for me to even beat it. The visuals are a joke, the battling is a mindless, unintuitive mess, and the music is better enjoyed on mute. None of the four... What? Wikipedia? What are you doing? Well, according to this article, there's a secret 5th mission that wasn't discovered until 2016? Gee, I wonder why kids in the year 2000 could not find this. It could not have been from the lack of fun this game offers. Well, it doesn't matter anyway. I'm done. I did my time. No, I'm not doing it. Fine. The final password was discovered by somebody called Lucky Typhlosion, who had more time on his hands to find more of the game, so thanks, I guess? Punching in this code reveals a new mission where you finally get to play as Axe. And I was right. He looks dreadful in motion. Your mission is given to you by the Andalites, Axe's own people. You're instructed to help the Animorphs destroy Yerk's super weapon. Leaving the hut has Tobias confirm this as well, but he also says that he and the others have been captured by the Yerks. So, no time to lose. But first, let's spend a few minutes getting some morphs. Because like everyone else, apparently Axe has forgotten all of his morphs except for a dog. Did he have that morph in the books? I can't remember. And I'm currently reading them. On the way there, you find a blue chest transponder, and then a travel-sized satellite and get beamed onto an Andalite spaceship. where all you do is go up to a computer that tells you that you're now on the Ark ship and then leave. On board, you find the ship teeming with Hork-Bajir, but there's also a spider here. So obviously you fight them, and also put the 5 transponders that you got from the previous 5 missions in 5 space sockets? I don't know. After that, you get an astronaut spacesuit. Yes, that spacesuit. And then you go flying in it to another your ship. Look at this. I mean, I imagine that Axe uses human warp to get into the suit, but this just looks silly. And if you bump into something... So here we are, the final Yerk ship. So you go up, you turn off the super weapon, and you find out that the spider morph apparently isn't small enough to free the others. Seriously. Failing that, you look in the bottom right corner of the map to find a cage that you can't enter. So let's try the spider there. It works, and you're in a fight with a salamander in space, which you beat as a spider to get its morph. Yeah, spider versus salamander, and the salamander loses. I'm done looking for logic in this game, as you can tell. So you use the salamander to free the others and see Tobias in motion. Then, it's time to finally face Visser 3. When you fight him, he morphs a familiar creature to those who have read the first book, at least. Unfortunately, it's another tap A to win with your strong morphs and hope you win. I mean, at this point, would you expect anything different? After utterly kicking Visser 3's ass, you escape, and the ending is just about the same as before. I mean, it's really not much, but I'll give it this. It is a better ending than the original, and I don't see the point of it being a hidden mission. This game is damn awful. It's no wonder nobody's heard of Runny Fun. I'd be surprised if I found any other game made by them. I cannot recommend Animorphs on the Game Boy Color. Not to curious gamers, not to collectors, and especially not to fans. Easily a 2 out of 10. I will never play this game again. And to you, Dan Mueller, what is wrong with you? Why would you request such an awful game to torture me with? Don't you think I have better things to do with my time? I mean, it's one thing if you didn't know about the game, but if you did, and you knew this was bad, I hope you get a bear hug from a Hork-Bajir. But, thank you for requesting it to me. And if you, lovely viewer, have any game that you would like me to review, feel free to comment them down below. And if you feel like I've deserved it, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. And if you can, share it with your friends. I do enjoy creating these videos, and by simply doing these things, I can make more frequent content. I'm also on Discord and Twitter if you'd like to say hi to me. Next time, I'll be back with another video game live support that may leave you shaken, not stirred. Until then, I've been GingerWolf. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.